Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, hi guys. Oh my god. Right now, I'm just going to wait for some deliveries. Sundays usually aren't the busiest, so we'll see. It's in the 50s here today, which is pretty decent for the beginning of March. How's everybody doing? Good, I hope. Let's see. Oh, okay, KFC. Oh, yeah. So I was going to actually do a stream today about certain things, but the only thing is they're very controversial, and I don't think YouTube would really appreciate some of the things that I want to talk about today. So, I mean, not that YouTube pays me anyways, they put advertisements on my channel, but let's see. Right now, I'm waiting for an order. I'm gonna go to over by Panera in the mall because it's a central location. KFC, you're bad. No, I mean the thing the thing is when you start talking like real and honest, like people don't like that, you know? And I am really just, you know, I am just like sick and tired of people, like, some people are like, they think that they're helping but they're not, and some people, it's just a weird world we live in. Like, some people want to offer advice that's not solicited. Okay, so in life, the safest way to go, because the thing is if somebody offers you advice, you're probably not going to take it unless if you actually go to the person and be like, look, I need advice on this or this or this, you know? But like, what's weird is, people try to tell you how you should live, what you should do, blah, 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 blah. But in all reality, this advice about, how you should eat, how whatever, we all know, right? I think everybody that's an adult knows how to, what they should be eating, what they shouldn't be doing, and should be doing. Now, the thing is you can control certain things, right? And like with all of like this terrorism on, you see it every day, right? So you see it when you read your Google feed, when you watch the news, right? You see like, oh, don't eat this, don't drink this causes this causes that. And it's like, it's not true. Like when it comes down to it, it's not true. Your life isn't going to be better. You're not going to be any happier in life if you eat fruits and vegetables compared to if you eat meat and potatoes, or you eat a snack, or you eat ice cream, whatever the thing is. It's not, you're not going to be healthier. um, you're not. Okay, I think we all know this by now. Like, that doesn't determine anything. Everybody has their vices, and nobody's perfect. Nobody, like, I just hate hearing how, like, these people are freaking miserable. That's what it is. Like, I see the people, right? So I see these people, and they work out, and I've done it too before, right? So, I quit smoking. I was like, oh yeah, I want to be healthier, whatever. My life's going to be so much better if I, quit smoking, eat healthier, um, whatever. My life was never better. And I mean, I'm sorry to put like a damper like on anybody's, if it worked for you, you know what? If eating healthier and exercising made you more content in life, then that's awesome. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and say what's good or bad or what works for you. But it's like, it just amazes me. Now, I've known, like, eating healthier and exercising more is not going to make you any happier. I did it. My life wasn't any happier. Like, I didn't feel any more in control. If anything, that I felt living like that was just like this, it was just filling some kind of like needed void, right? Like, I did it for years. I ran, I exercised, ate healthy, did all of that, right? And well, physical my physical well-being, like physically, I was like, okay, it is what it was okay. Like, I was still overweight. I still didn't, like, physically, I still wasn't looking the best. And this was me running. This was, I exercised. I was active. I ate very consciously. You know, I did what I was supposed to do as far as physically. But, like, as far as my life went, it didn't change. And, like, it was still the same. Things were still the same. I still dealt with um, mental issues, like mental health issues, constantly. Um, I just don't like this almost like glamour thing. Like, if you do these things, like, you make great decisions, and you know whatever. Whereas if you, let's say, I don't know, it's just one of those things. Like, people smoke, people vape, people drink. Some people do drugs, and that's just how it is. Some people do pharmaceutical drugs, some people do street drugs. And that could be a preference of, what you need and what you don't need. When I was doing yoga and exercising and eating correctly and everything else, my life didn't change, honey. I was just doing these things that honestly I really didn't want to do. But it was just one of those things where everybody has this thing like, this is how you should handle and deal with things, even though it wasn't really dealing or handling with anything really in my life. And it really just kind of like stalled my progress overall just in life, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do yoga, or I'm gonna do another spin class. And it's like, you do. So with intense exercise, you get this like, afterwards, you kind of get this like euphoric feeling, right? And that's true. But it's like, yeah, you get this like feel, like this really good feeling because of the chemicals and everything going through your body and whatever. So you get this high almost for a short time. It doesn't last forever, just like anything else. And you feel really good and like energetic. But that eventually goes away. And like, as far as like with stress and dealing with stress, because we all have stress. What beach are you close to? Oh, geez. Well, KFC, you know how it is. Okay, so anybody who's an adult, it's not just necessarily like one person or another. It's just like people in general. They just, everybody wants you to like conform to a certain thing. California accent, bro. Um, oh my God. Okay, so we have some comedians in here. Um, so the thing is when I lived like a healthier lifestyle compared to when I didn't, my income didn't go up. I didn't get more friends. Um, life wasn't better. My health still wasn't better. I mean, the only thing was I worked out, I sweat, I got that happy euphoric feeling that lasted, 15, 20 minutes afterwards. And then that was that. And yeah, like it's just it's just crazy to me. Like, you are not a better or not a better person if you don't eat organic or all just fruits and vegetables, okay? KFC, I like KFC. KFC is real. See, okay, so you guys, I know some of you guys are new and you're trolling and just trolling and scrolling, but we also have a real community too. Um, so I mean, I'm sorry if today isn't your instant happy, fun, like, enjoyable conversation. But like, you see these things, it's like, just like when, okay, I'm sure everybody watches TV. So TV, right? You turn on the TV and you see these commercials. And I saw one the other day and I just want to talk about it really quick. So you see commercials and you see these commercials and you have one commercial talking about, you always see commercials about medications too, by the way. So you see these pharmaceutical medication commercials about, this drug or that pharmacy drug. Oh, this will make you feel, this is for this. This is for that. Whatever. And every drug comes with a list of side effects, right? So, oh, you take this and this and this and this might happen. And, they have to do that legally. So, like, even if they did a trial, let's say they did a trial run, which they have to do. And let's say, like, they had 1,000 people try this drug, versus a placebo and all this and that. And even if, like, one person claims, like, oh, I got a headache, and it might not even been from the drug to even begin with, they still have to market that. They still have to put it out there. So it's just funny that, people have these drugs and medications and whatever, and that's even if you can get these medications, right? So you might go to the doctors, you have a health issue, a health concern, so you go to the doctors, right? That sounds pretty reasonable. That seems logical, right? You know, the doctors, and then they might tell you, whatever, for, oh, you got to get blood, this and that, and, go about it that way. Meanwhile, you're trying to figure out what's really going on. And it's just funny how they always mention, like, lifestyle changes, right? So, if you, I don't know, I don't drink, but I'm sure if you drink, they might say, oh, cut back on drinking, don't smoke. The list can go on and on, right? Honestly, I've never heard too many doctors tell people not to drink. So, I mean, but I know smoking is like freaking, you're like a major target if you have a cigarette. Like, go and drink, but if you have a cigarette, like that's like the worst thing you can do for yourself. But I mean, they have these drugs, right? They have these drugs out there. Like, oh, you have arthritis or you have some kind of condition or whatever the problem may be, like there's a medication for that. So they want to put you on these medications to see if they help you any, right? And sometimes it might not work out for you. And it's just weird. It's just overall weird. Like I don't think your life's going to be any happier if you do yoga. I mean, like I've lived it. I lived both ends, like where I would smoke cigarettes and drink coffee, and I was just as content and okay with life and everything else than when I exercised, um, ate healthy, stayed away from processed foods and everything else. Thanks, KFC. Yeah, I mean, we're having a pondering session, okay? So if you don't like it, get to the next channel. Um, yeah. So as I'm waiting here for an order, I was just thinking about that, and I'm sure everybody's been in that predicament where, oh, are you dealing with stress or depression? Here's some medications, or here's, you know, eat healthier and your life's just going to be better. Well, it never really is. And so you think to yourself, like, you're like, well, what can I do, right, to make my life better? Should I work more, to make more money? Because there's a lot of factors that go into a person's happiness. And it goes anywhere from money, because if you don't have money, how can you afford to enjoy things in life if you can't afford them, right? So money is always a big social deterrent from happiness. What else? Oh, drugs and alcohol, right? If you're on drugs and alcohol, it's like, heavily, that could be a social deterrent as well. Um, let's see. But they don't tell you things like that. It's like, oh, well, if you don't make money, you can't do things. Let alone, like, let's just say, like, buy things for yourself, right? So we all buy things for ourselves. We all need things, we all want things. But there's that level of income, right? And I'm not saying you have to be a millionaire, right? To do things, enjoy life, have a social life, um, do activities like that. Nitty's DK, I see where you're going with that, but that still isn't true. Um, being happy with yourself, it's just, I mean, That's just not it. It doesn't make sense being happy with yourself. Does someone say, yeah, okay, Nitty. Yep, Nitty's on here for that. No, we were talking about like social deterrence and, what makes people like how you can be happier in life and live your best life. And have you tried some of those things? And where did you still end up? Where did you still end up? You still ended up the same. You still ended up the same. Right. And I mean, DK, that's not like, so DK, like being happy with yourself, but like, I think if you just know how the world works and everything, and you've been at that place where you can understand that most of people's unhappiness really isn't their fault. And it really isn't. It's a whole slew of things. It's not even like, oh, this person is this way or doesn't do this and doesn't do that. Well, that's a good point, KFC. But I mean, when you talk about legacy, like what does that mean to you? What is leaving behind a legacy? What in your eyes what kind of like legacy are we talking about here? Are we talking about like a business? You're going to leave behind an estate, a business, a more kids. Um, like, are you setting your kids up better than what you had? So it's kind of like that. Hmm. I like what you're talking about, KFC. I do. To be kind, be humble, you know, have morals. But I know this is going to sound like a downer, and I do. I like what you're saying, and I really do appreciate your comments and like where you're coming from and everything. But it's just like some of my family did that, and it was still not a good life. It's like you live this path, and they teach you, be a good person, do this, do that, your life will be better. You'll come with people, it'll be better. So you do that. You try to take that route, and it still doesn't work out. You know, you still live that way, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm still not at a good place. I did those things, and it's like, so then you try another path that isn't exactly the most traditional way, and it's still the same. But KFC, I really do thank you for commenting, and I feel that, like, I just, you know, I'm just having one of those, like, thinking days, I guess. You know, where you're just kind of like, I'm sure everybody's been there before. But Aaron, so I want to talk to you about that. So, Aaron, I did that. I had that. And I did it for years, Aaron, most of my life. I was in this routine most of my life. Woke up, went to work, did what I had to do, and it still didn't make anything more clear in my life. And then I didn't have a routine for a while, right? So I was just kind of like here, I was like all over the place, and it still didn't help. So it's definitely, when I was on a routine, I was stuck on that routine. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't find another path to really go on because I was so comfortable and stuck in this routine that was like my comfort. No, I'm okay, KFC. It's just one of those days. Like, everybody has a day where they just reflect on things, and um whatever. I mean, I'm seeing people like walking the mall, like the old and it's just one of those things. It's like, I guess when you've just tried every different way of living, like living your life, and it's still just nothing just ever seemed to really, like, was it, you know what I mean? Like, right, right, Aaron. So, like, I was just like thinking to myself, I was like, so some people, they're on this routine, which I am not by any means going to diss a, a routine thing, but it's almost like once you're so routinized, it's kind of like you just get comfortable with just, well, not only that, but especially if a doctor ever gives you like drugs to where you're so exhausted and everything, like you can't even, your anxiety and everything to even go any different other direction would just go crazy, you know. And that's the thing, like with drugs, and I don't mean like, when I say drugs, I mean prescription drugs and everything. They just it just like clouds your mind, where you're kind of just like this like zombie, right? So you might go through life sometimes, and that's all you're doing is you're just doing the motions, right? So you're like, okay, every day I got to get up at this time, do this at this time, you know. It's almost like you're just like a robot, almost like you're a programmed robot. And then if you steer away from that when you're during this routinized phase in your life, it's almost like it brings so much stress, even though it might be good stress, that you don't want to even be bothered with it. Well, that's good, Aaron. Like I'm never gonna sit here, and if somebody literally told me that, if they told sat here and told me, they were like, I did this and my life just got better, and they really believed it, and they were, just I am never gonna say like no way. I would never undermine somebody. Like if you were like I tried these herbal supplements, and all of a sudden like everything just fell into place for me. I would be like, where do I sign up? I'll try it. Like if my life's gonna get better if I eat an orange or an apple, like, dude, I'll eat an orange and apple. But I mean, that's not real. And it might help you physically, so it might make you like at least a little bit physically, a little bit healthier. Um, but it's not gonna change your life. Oh, because I did that. I did the whole herbal, I did the supplements, I did the vitamins. Honestly, I didn't really feel any better than when I didn't take them, but everybody's different. Everybody's body's different. So just because something didn't work for me does not mean that it won't work for you. Disclaimer. I'm just telling everybody about my experiences. Well, yeah, I mean, in life, you're going to have your good stress and you're going to have your bad stress. That's just normal. Like, you're always going to have some kind of stress in your life. Because if you did it, then you wouldn't live life at all. And I'm just saying, like, everybody deals with stress differently. I mean, faith is definitely, I'm never going to knock somebody who has faith. Um, but like, it's funny because when you're in society, right? So I've always had faith, and I'm a believer, and it's just like society. So, you have your religion, you have your faith, you have everything, and it doesn't work out the best because that's not, let's get real. Like, God doesn't sit there and say that you're going to have an easy life. Things are just going to get handed to you. There's not going to be any pain or suffering. We all know that that's just what comes with living life. But it's like, you try to live a certain path, which you think's the good path, right? And you are still just so like empty and like not content. And it's just crazy because it's like they always tell you like, no, don't ever want anything, right? Don't want anything, whatever. But then if you never want anything, then what do? You just lay in your bed all day and freaking, you know? I'm content because I didn't want anything in life or nothing that life ever had to offer. So here I am. Right. Oh yeah, like I gotta tell you guys, for years I was just a mindless zombie who was too scared. Freaking, you want to talk about panic, anxiety? Um, yeah, I lived it every day. I mean, I still kept on pushing forward with it. Um, I mean, some days it was bad. But the thing is the funny thing about these things is, not everybody has that. And I also learned that from being around people. So it's like, oh, am I this special person who gets to like suffer like with extreme, anxiety? I mean, not the only, because I'm sure there's lots of people, lots and lots. But it just always baffled me how like some people just didn't have that extreme to where my case was. It wasn't that extreme. Did they deal with anxieties? Did they deal with stresses? Oh, yeah. I think that's just human. That's human nature, right? You get stressed, you get anxious about things. Those are feelings, those are all normal. But it's just. Right, so I watch people, right? And I'm like, and I've had like all sorts of help throughout my life. And I mean, it was never really like, I don't know, the best. You reach out, you get help when you need it, which is normal for anybody. I don't care how big you are, I don't care how much money you have. Like, everybody goes through it. And, I mean, it's just fine. Everybody deals with it differently. There was a lady the other day I witnessed, she had a panic attack. I felt so bad for her. Literally, just extreme panic came over her. Right. And, like, I've gone out, like, so I've caused. I'm not going to sit here and say that, everyone else is the problem or everything else is, and I'm not that person. Like, I've caused stress in my own life. I didn't have to, that I could have controlled better. But I really felt that's just what I was supposed to do and where I was supposed to be. Let's see. Like, every single person can come on here, and I bet you something they are scared of. They are scared of something. Everybody has those fears, right? For whatever reason. Like, some people might be scared of heights. Some people might be scared of enclosed spaces. Some people might be scared of animals. Some people, something makes everybody uncomfortable at whatever. Fear of the unknown. That is very typical, Aaron. Like, I think everybody in the back of their mind, like when you start a new job, when you if you move somewhere, you know, you're going to have, there's going to be that spot in the back of your mind, like, because it's not known, like you're doing something out of your comfort zone. KFC, isn't that like the original? I think that's the original fear, actually. Fear of death. Yep. Here, I'll do a poll for you guys. Agoraphobia. I I had a bout of that when I was younger. Hold on, let's see. That's the worst Sacred Heart. Let's see. I'm gonna do a thing. Let's see. I'm gonna do a poll right now for you guys. Okay, so this is just gonna be a random poll, you guys. Yes, you can. So I'll tell you right now that you can, and it's possible. I am living example. I am a living example that can be defeated. Um, you can overcome that as well. Oh, those things are all real. That's real. You're not. Yeah, I was scared to leave my bedroom. Oh wait, I should have put Tears for Fears. Do you guys wait a minute? Do you know the group Tears for Fears? That's what I meant to put. Tears for Fears, not Fears for Tears. Yeah, so who knows the group Tears for Fears? KFC, you're about my age. You should know Tears for Fears. And the thing is it's all normal. All of these things that people fear is normal. Yeah, like even walking into new situations, you know, change of jobs, anything that breaks up your comfort zone can bring stress. Like it's good stress. Some people fear going to the doctors. That's another one. A lot of people have told me about that. Yep. Hey, I've been to places where I've been threatened before. I mean, come on. I don't know. I've just had lots of different things happen to me in my life. So, Aaron, like, when you say, like, fear is key to keeping you safe, you have a point there, and I'm listening to you. But living a safe life really living? You know? But I mean, I'm also talking about like irrational fears too. So like let's say if somebody is agoraphobic, they're afraid to leave the house. Now, does that mean that you were supposed to live in your house because it really was unsafe? I mean, obviously, anytime you leave your house, anything could happen, right? I guess. I mean, some people have fears of getting shots, you know? If I don't leave, nothing bad could happen. I love you, KFC. No, look, I can't speak for anybody, but when I dealt with my case of agoraphobia, it literally had nothing to do with anything. It was totally irrational. It was mostly because I kept on having panic attacks and panic attacks that I would stay in my room, and that was the only place that I wasn't getting panic attacks. So I just kept on staying in my room until I was like, what is going on here? This isn't normal. No, I like KFC, man. Like, that's how my agoraphobia started. As I would get panic attacks for no apparent reason, like nothing, like literally, I was just getting like anxious and panicky there was no honest reason. Like all of a sudden, I'd just be going about my day, and then all of a sudden, I'm literally like crying in a panic attack. I don't know what's going on. And then that was my thing that happened to me, is I just kept on having them over and over and over again. And I'm like, okay, well, when I lay in my bed, I'm not having these panic attacks. So then it was just kind of like, all right, and then I kind of just had to start pushing myself, getting on better medications and everything else, because it was bad. Like shaking, just like, it was horrible. And it has nothing to do with, it's your whole biological, um, your chemicals in your brain, everything else, you know? I mean, I've had enough trauma in my life where I probably shouldn't have, like, when I did experience a lot of trauma, like, it didn't affect me like it did when you know, so it's just weird. It also could be at how physically healthy that you are, too. A lot of people do that, KFC. A lot of people. You are not alone in that. I know people who, yeah, well, no, what I find interesting is like all of these like remedies that people come up with and whatever, and it's just like, so you try them because like when you're in this state, you're like, dude, I'll try anything. You tell me that there's a magical pill, and I'll take it. Oh, look, Clara's on. She's one of my most loyal subscribers. Well, you know what I found funny is, they were always like, with depression, anxiety, and stuff, they're like, oh, go on antidepressants, this and that. It's like, well, okay, sure, why not, right? Here's antidepressants. Um, I mean, they'll help sedate you. As long as you just try to keep on going, I guess. See, Prozac help, I mean, well, I mean, we can't sit here and deny the fact because they're always talking about prescription medications and, for depression, anxiety, and like how millions and millions of prescriptions are made all the time for that. And then they start making you think, I don't know if anybody's gone through therapy, but they make you think that, like, that's another thing was, going through therapy, they make you think you're being irrational and this and that. And it might be true, but I mean, if you could help that, I'm sure you would have. Like, you have to retrain your mind. It's like, how am I supposed to retrain my mind when I am of sound mind? And I mean, getting these panic attacks for no reason. Well, quote unquote, no reason. Because I don't think correctly. You know? Like, okay. Like, you're supposed to have like these positive, happy thoughts all the time, right? That's what they tell you. You know, retrain your mind. Like, think more positive. You know, smile more. This and that. Meanwhile, when they're telling you this, you're basically like thinking to yourself, well, is it me? You know, like, what's going on here? You know? Right, right. Thank you, KFC. Right. No, you're absolutely right. Like, nobody would, like, I never woke up, you know, go to work, do what I gotta do. And I was like, you know what? Today I really want to have a bad day. I want to have a couple breakdowns. And yeah, like, I want to feel horrible and like not feel good and not feel, you know. You want me to take my clothes off outside? Okay, I'll take my clothes off outside. We'll see, and we'll get some. Hey, that could be my like video to start to being a YouTube celebrity. Moments with Michelle gets police called on her for indecent exposure at the mall. Exactly, KFC. Exactly. Yeah, you get so worked up, right? So you do. You get like so worked up over things. And like, you know, people. And I'm not going to sit here and. Oh, my car just freaking. See, that's another thing. My car's been acting up a little bit lately, guys. Hold on. Well, I mean, that, and especially, you know, with me at least, I had a lot of responsibilities at a younger age. So, I mean, and it was like, yeah, did I do something that caused more stress too for myself? Like I had to grow up really fast and be really responsible at a younger age. I mean, like everyone should be responsible and have responsibilities. You know, that's just part of being an adult, right? Is having responsibilities, having a job, having, you know, going to school, having to pay bills. I mean, that's just part of, you know, that's just that. But I mean, well, that's another thing too, KFC. A lot of people do that. Like, so a lot of people, like, they'll bury themselves in their jobs and their work, you know, as a distraction. But eventually, like, all of those distractions, you know, it's all gonna come, like, it all comes around, right? So, like, and you just gotta really hope that your support system is big enough, strong enough to like hold you together while you're going through a very difficult time. You know? Like, let's say this never happened, Like, let's say you were going through a very difficult time in your life, but you had a spouse or a friend or whatever that either helped you out financially, emotionally, just kept you going. I mean, it definitely is one of those things. And you're not a bad person. You're not like whatever, whatever stigmas that are out there for people who have struggled or do struggle with mental health. A lot of people don't like to talk about those things. It's one of those things, and I think that makes it worse. I worked with a lot of people and a lot of like younger adults, and that when I was a young adult, like in my early 20s, early mid 20s, I would say I dealt with a lot of extreme, panic attacks, anxiety, and I was lucky to overcome a lot of that in not that long of a period of time. But yeah, it's torture. But that's life though too, And I'm not saying that's life to sound like I'm just some like insensitive whatever, but it's like nobody's life is like rainbows, sunshine, happy, happy, happy all the time, because that's not realistic either. Unless if like you live in, I don't know. Right. And when you're going through those things, that's exactly how you feel. Like you don't want to be a burden to other people. Like you don't want to be like that, like nervous, um, whatever to other people. So a lot of people, that's what they do. They just want to deal with it on their own because they don't want to feel like they're bothering somebody else because they're feeling some certain type of way about, and it could be whatever, but it's all normal. It sucks, and you're gonna feel sometimes like, oh, why does this have to happen to me? And then, or you might look for blames, right? Because you're hurting so much, so you might want to like deflect that on certain things, but it's just like you just gotta you just gotta try to keep just trying, you know. Well, let's see. And taking time for yourself or a retreat, vacation, whatever you want to call it, isn't bad either. But you can't just live in that, because then when you do have to face struggles, challenges, whatever, you're going to be a mess. I mean, I used to have panic attacks as a kid. Oh, I had extreme anxieties and panic attacks even as young as 5 years old. I mean, some people just have to deal with that even at a younger age. I mean, that's just how it was. My grandmother gave me a worry rock at 5 years old and told me to rub it every time I got worried or nervous or anxious. So I was always just that nervous, you know. So that's how I know that, like, having panic attacks, anxiety, and everything else, it's like, let's see. Yeah, and plus I'm sure, like, when COVID came out and everything, that just set a whole bunch of different fears. A lot of people. Let's see. So, my tears for fears, or fears for tears, unknown is coming in first place, so 65%. Height, second place, 29%. Animals, 6%. And enclosed spaces, 0. Nobody's scared of enclosed spaces. Well, that's awesome. Let's see. Yeah, it's just basically like what they all wanted you to be. You know, it's not your fault. Just what the almighty power wanted, planned that with this wonderful life for you. And some people, you're gonna face tons of anxieties, and you're gonna have to work harder and push through more, and you're gonna have a lot more issues and everything else. And then they're gonna judge you because of how you had to deal with things that were under your. My phone froze for a little bit, but it's like everyone knew what you were gonna do and how you were gonna handle things. So when somebody sits there and tries to make you feel bad, right, for whatever the reason is, they already knew. Your whole life, maybe not every single moment of every single thing of your life, was already set, programmed, everything else. The fact that if you had a lot of mental illness, if you, let's say it was harder for you to have friends, let's say it was whatever, it was all already there. Like, you know, I don't know if you want to say it's the government, I don't know if you want to say society, government, whatever. That's just how it was. And it's just the only thing that you could do really is either just be happy or you can be miserable. Yeah, no, I did. No, thank you, KFC, for keeping it going. No, my phone actually overheated, but it's back now. But yeah, no, like they already knew. It was already set that that's how it was just gonna be. You know. Hi, Richard. No, we're just having we're having a reflective uh chat today about the way the world works and everything. Well, not even the world, but just the way things are. And yeah, like KFC. You said that you used to work a lot, right? And now you don't so much anymore. But like somebody already knew that that's exactly what was going, that those were the things that you were going to do. Like it's like, I mean, I would say like, like contentment, sure. If you can be content, if you can find contentment in your life, then you are happy. Yeah, I mean, like some people get beat up most of their lives, and some people don't. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Nothing. My car's been making like this weird noise lately. I got it looked at. They said it's fine. So apparently it's supposed to sound like that. I don't know. I don't know cars. Yeah, cars, I don't know. Never really cared to know too much about them. Let's see. Let's take a look at the poll. Unknown 58% is still winning. No, Clara, we're not gonna. I'll have a big live stream. I'll get naked and dance in the middle of the parking lot, okay? I want a new vehicle, anyways. Yeah, this one's just issues. Issues after issues. I was looking into a couple vehicles. Do you want to have a live stream? I'll do a live stream and everyone has to get on the panel and we'll all do it together. Sell your vehicle and go traveling. Well, that sounds like fun, except my vehicle isn't paid off. So, and I actually owe money on it. And then if I were to travel, what would I travel with? Just an airplane and walk around? You sold your vehicle and you just went traveling? Well, good for you. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is other people have been screwing up your life all along. And when you realize that, like, So just be happy with it, you shahads. You're doing it right now. Well, I gotta see it on cam, okay, Clara? Yeah, or you're gonna have to go on cam. We don't believe you. Bring pepper spray, travel to Georgia. We both know a guy with a new house. TT. Why why would I have to bring pepper spray? I do have pepper spray though. I've always had pepper spray. Well, yeah, there's better things. Of course there is, Richard. But the thing is you kind of need a vehicle to uh, get to places. I mean, I guess if you live in like a major city where, you know, everyone takes subways and walks, and, you know, that's a lifestyle too. But where I live, if you don't have a vehicle and you're relying, especially where I live in the suburbs, and you got to take a cab, and that can be really costly if you're taking a cab somewhere all the time. That can cost you just as much as having a payment for a car. DT, where are you? Where are you located? Okay, maybe no pepper spray. Where are you located, DT? I'll come pick you up. I'll come grab you. Delaware? Well, Delaware. Hmm. Trying to think where we could meet, because Delaware is off, way off to the east for me. I'll piss him off. Well, I'll piss off the guy in Georgia. Can you imagine? He gets pissed off if freaking his neighbor comes over. Can you imagine? He call the police. Yeah, some psychos ended up showing up in my house. Like, I enjoyed talking to all of them on YouTube, but, you know. No, I would do that anyway. Anyways. Well, I'll move into the new house. And he won't even know. And then, like, he goes there one day to check on it or whatever. We're all like, hey. Oh, it's too much. Yep, Rochester. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, Georgia, watch out. We're all coming down there to take over. Let's see. We rent a bus. I don't even know if you can rent a bus. We'll all take turns. No, I would. Honestly, you know, if I were to move or relocate, it definitely probably wouldn't be Georgia. Yeah, I can't see myself living in Georgia. Even though from the videos that were posted, it looks like the state does need some help. You know what? I give Clara an A for effort because she just doesn't seem to quit, if it even is a female. Housewarming party, let's party. He opens up the door. We'll say party. He would probably not know what. He'd be like, oh, okay, I guess. But you guys gotta like leave, like, you know. I don't know. He doesn't really strike me as like this generous, go with the flow type of person, especially when it comes to other people. He would probably not be happy. Surprise party! I am working. I am working 2 jobs. Well, 3 if you consider YouTube a job. Yep. No, I'm just having, yeah, a party. That's right. Oh yeah, I could already tell he would be pissed. He'd be so pissed off. Are you kidding me? I mean, not if we like offer what of you ladies to him. It might not be so bad. But yeah, I definitely don't see him as the type of person like, oh yeah, you guys can stay here. Yeah, right. We could set up tents. No, I honestly don't think that he would want, appreciate, or any of that. I mean, come on now. I mean, there's a reason why he moved way out in the middle of nowhere land. It's not to be closer to people. I think he's definitely the type of person who'll be friends with you as long as there's some type of benefit to him. Like, I don't think he would just be friends with a person just to be friends with a person. It's yeah, yeah, you're crazy. Yeah, can you imagine showing up to somebody's house, n- not invited? I mean, what would you do? You know, you'd probably be like, "What the?" Well, he already said that he warned the state troopers about YouTube stalkers, so apparently he's already getting stalked by somebody on YouTube in Georgia. Hi. I know he could feed all of us instead of giving him to wild animals that you're not supposed to feed anyways. I know. Can you imagine how rich? You know, we could just we'll just put a ton, save some money. Those vultures eat better than some humans, for real. Or we can invite. Let's see. We'll invite his neighbor that he says looks like the Unabomber. He did say that anybody could come down, but I wouldn't suggest on just going there and showing up and being like, "Here I am." I mean, he does put it out there. So, but I'm sure it's not just for anybody who feels like showing up at my door. I think it would be funny. No, you're right. I think it would be funny to show up there just to get a reaction and then be like, all right, we're going to get a hotel. What? I thought this was a party house. He'd be like, oh, shit. What am I going to do with you guys now? Let's see. We'll just sleep outside with the bees, okay? Dude, honestly, it would probably be the best thing for him, but like he would hate it. He would hate it. It would probably be the best thing for him, but I already know he would like freaking. You know, someone to call his bluff. We're here. Then all of a sudden he's calling the police. I have trespassers, stalkers from YouTube. I mean, I told them that they could, you know, I said that I'm gonna have a party and everything, but I mean, you know, I didn't really mean it. YouTube's just my hobby to get, uh, to say things that I want to say to strangers. Yeah, he'd probably be like, oh yeah, we could do a YouTube video about it. We're here for the smoked, for some smoked meat. Let's party. Party. Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to get going. I got a couple things I got to get done. Once again, I hope everyone's doing good and have a good day.